Chanel Young, instructor of communication applications, and I'm here to address a critical issue with you. There comes a time in all of our lives in which we have to do the unthinkable, the unavoidable, finding that first job. This experience is often dreaded because we don't know what to expect. I'm here to better prepare you to successfully face this challenge. You are about to view a series of interviews from local hiring managers right here in Beaumont, Texas. They will tell you what they look for in an employee and give you valuable tips on interviewing. Pay attention and take notes as we take a look at this special report.
Some people got to have it. Some people really need it. Listen to me, y'all. Do things, bad things with it. Well, you wanna do things good.
I like to tell them a little bit about the job, not just what they're applying for as a cashier or cook. I like them to know that it's, washing dishes, cleaning the bathroom, sweeping, mopping. I give them a kind of a quick job description on what they're going to be expected to do when they start.
I want them to know, we just ask them that they come in and be willing to work and, know that, as parents, we have a dress code. It's just your personal appearance and everything, because basically what we do, we train you to what we want you to know and the job responsibilities that you're going to have.
Generally, whenever you start working for a company, you should probably research a little background about the company. Know what your existing job skills are, kind of what you'll bring to the skill set of the company. Expected answers whenever you go somewhere. I know probably in y'all class y'all probably learn about different things around what do you need to know for an interview or things like that, but basically those things.
Okay, one thing that we require is experience. You have to have experience in some type of retail or job-related field. We require them to have availability, and we require them to be at least 16 years of age.
I ask them if, of course, what hours they want to work, if they have reliable transportation, ask them about their school activities and their outside activities. Why are they looking for a job? What do they expect to gain from it?
We ask situational type questions like, what would you do in situations, say for instance, if somebody would come in with a problem, as where was something at, or how would you locate something, or just basically when we first hire you, we just want somebody with a good personality that's open, got a smile, and working with the public is easy if you can smile and can relate to people. And that's what we look for, people that's going to be able to relate to the customers.
Kind of questions that I normally ask are things like, why do you want to work for this company? What kind of strengths would you bring to our company? What is your drive and your passion for working? Things like, what other jobs have you had? How would your other job skills relate to kind of what we do here at Best Buy?
Well, first of all, we always ask them why they want to work here, because we want them to be excited about working for our company. We ask them what is their availability, like say if they're in high school, if they can work nights, if they can work weekends. We ask them what made them apply here and what they were excited about the job, and what like if they know somebody here, or if they don't, or if they have a family member, and like those kind of questions, because we want people that have a really good personality and that actually want to work here, and not just that it's just a job for them to come to,
Probably working around their activities, trying to meet their requirements to participate in school, and then the requirements I have here on the job, and trying to meet all their needs, because we do like to work around school because it is important, and it's a great, Dairy Queen's a great first-time job for high school students because we do that. So that's kind of a challenge, is to make sure I balance with their grades, their teachers, their parents, plus take care of the Dairy Queen.
Challenges are basically just availability, and we get a lot of the kids that are call-ins. That's the biggest thing. But like I said, availability, because we always ask that, and then call-ins, that's the biggest problems that we have.
For the most part, probably none. The only thing with high school students is the availability around what they can work. It's good when we hire high school students because they kind of prepare them for other things outside of high school. We have quite a few high school students working now. Some of the people go to y'all school that work here. Really no challenges, just learning the responsibility around what a job entails, coming to work on time, being punctual, things like that would help you outside of school and then once you go to college and stuff like that.
One of the biggest challenges is availability. A lot of students have after-school activities, and it's hard. I mean, we're retail, so you have to be able to work nights and weekends. And a lot of high school students are involved with after-school activities, or they can't work on weekends. It's stuff like that. That's the main challenge with high school students.
As they say, it's all in the presentation. First impressions, whether it's a job or anything you do, is the most important thing, because that's what a person is normally going to judge you on. So it is very important to, be attentive, be dressed properly,
And it's important because if you come in with say for instance you come in dressed a certain way, or not groomed or whatever, and you get hired, then you feel like that's acceptable all the time, and it's not. So the first impression is always what's going to get you by, and that's going to carry you whether it be here or anywhere, because it's not supposed to be that way, but it means a lot.
Appearance makes a huge difference. The best thing about appearance is you have to know what the applicant or potential employer look like once they come to work. Things like iron clothes, which is really important. It's a lot of things. It's very important about a job.
It's pretty important. Like when you go to an interview, you want to make sure that you're dressed appropriate and you're dressed the way you would dress if you come to work here. We want someone that's going to work here to dress at least in an attire that you would see in Forever 21, because when people come shopping in here, they look at the way we dress, and they want to dress like our employees.
Trendy.
Yes, very trendy, very fashionable. Also, you need to be well kept up, well groomed. Make sure you fix your hair and you do a little something with your face, and you have to be cute. I mean, we don't want to hire somebody that
First appearance is number one to me. It's the first thing you see when the person walks up, before they even say anything.
Yeah.
I got plenty money. I got plenty money. Okay. I got plenty money. I got plenty money. Okay. I got plenty money. I got plenty money. Okay. I got plenty money. Let the streets know. I got plenty money. Okay. I got plenty money. Let the streets know. I got plenty money. Okay. I got plenty money. Okay. What's in my pocket, dog? Big face Honda. Just left the mall. Bought everything that I wanted. I'm kinda mad with you, hey. I'm real disappointed. Cause what you didn't tell the people, I got plenty money. 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 I like my bitches.
Would go under the presentation too, not just your appearance, but also the way you eye contact, not just yes and no answers. You want to be able to give a little characteristic about yourself and be able to answer everything.
That's very important, because you have to know kind of what you're good at and what you're not good at, kind of the strong skills you have and things the opportunities that you probably can work on. And then normally in the interview process, that's something that you know, we would ask, or I would ask.
Well, if you don't know your own strengths and weaknesses, how are we going to be able to fit you in our company? I mean, you have to know what the balance is between your strengths and weaknesses. And if you don't know your own, then that just shows me that you don't know who you are as a person. And if you don't know who you are as a person, then I don't want you working for my company or our company.
A woman will sell her precious body for a small piece of paper.
It just depends. If it's a high school student, I don't really, because usually it's their first time job, so I do check references. But if high school kids, usually if I get them out of another job or get a hold of them when they're young enough, we can make them, train them differently. So high school students, I don't put a lot on that.
We do check a lot of references to kind of see where you stand, and a lot of high school students normally use like their teachers, or if you're involved in any extracurricular activities, or if you have anything outside of school, like church organizations, things like that. And the weight is placed on kind of how you are as a student also, which is really important.
It is very important to us to make sure that they have kept up and have good standing with their previous jobs, because when you come to this company, it's a very big store. It's a lot of work. Our retail store is a lot different from other retail stores in that our floor sets, the way our clothes are set up and everything, it's really difficult, and it is a lot of work. And so we want the people that we take into our company during their interviews, and for reference, we do call references, and we do make sure that they are hard workers, because when they come over here, we don't want them to be shocked at like how much work it is. And we want them to be hard workers, and so that, what's the word?
Responsible. It
Yes.
shows how responsible.
Very important, not just for the employee that's going to be working the front line and communicating with the customers, but also the cooks, because not only talking to the customers or communicating with your teammates, your workers, you need to be able to be clear and, speak properly and answer them good.
Communications are skills-based, because it goes back to what I was telling you a little earlier. We want you to be able to relate to the customers and to the other employees, because the more you can relate, the easier your job is.
Very important. That'll stem back to kind of, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. So you have to know how to say things at the right times. I think once you learn what your audience is and who your audience is, then you'll be able to deal with a lot of different things. We deal with different customers, different types of customers, and everybody's different. So you have to be able to deal with everybody on an individual basis.
Well, you have to be able to talk and communicate and speak well. You don't want somebody that's like, that doesn't speak well. You have to be able to relate what you're thinking to us. And you have to be able to relate it in an educated manner, because you're going to be working with the public. So communication is huge when you work with the public. I mean, you're with customers every day, and you're going to have to communicate with them. With fashion, yeah, you have to know certain fashion trends. I've had to find a few out whenever I started working here. So, I mean, you have to be able to communicate, and you need to an education, and that comes through education.
It's a big thing to us. Like, one of our requirements is you're supposed to greet a customer within 15 seconds of them entering your zone. So you have to be able to communicate with people and talk to people, and you can't be like shy about it. So.
Again, I guess I look in their appearance and how they present themselves, and communication, personality. Personality is a lot, in an employee, because you've got, especially in this business, it depends on the the job that you're applying for, but I put a lot into it.
Just the willingness to work. Somebody that's going to come here and just do what's asked for.
Dependability, responsibility, customer service skills. If I'm interviewing somebody, what makes the difference is how they answer their questions, the questions that they have for me. So that's something that's really important also. Once you're doing an interview, you have to always ask, when they ask you have any questions, you can't say no, because I'm pretty sure you have questions that need to be answered. So just make sure that you answer the questions that if someone asks you, do you have questions? But
We definitely look for someone that's going to be outspoken in a good way. You know, someone that's going to be friendly, that's trendy, that, you know, really wants to work and has a passion to work, because it's really hard and there's a lot to do in this store, and we definitely need someone that wants to come in here and that actually really, really wants to work and really wants the job. So that's the main thing.
Energy, you gotta have a high energy too, because this is a fast-paced store and there's people in and out of here constantly, and you have to be able to keep up with them, and you have to be able to keep up with the trends too. So
I need a Winn-Dixie grocery bag full of money right now to the VIP section. You got young moolah out tonight, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Young. Young moolah, baby. Got money and you know it.
You know, make sure you're at your best appearance, and to answer good and communicate very well. You know, don't be afraid to ask questions if you have any questions, because even the questions that an employer is going to ask you, it's just important for you to ask the questions that you need to know the answers to. So, you know, make your little list, be prepared, and, you know, have a list to make sure you write down things you might not understand.
To be open, to speak, you know, and to ask questions. Anything you have questions about or any doubts about anything. And like I say, be vocal.
Like I said earlier, you know, just preparing for an interview, know a little bit about what the job is you applied for, kind of what'll be expected, the answers that you would give, have references, have a resume. If you haven't had any jobs, the resumes are still good, because you're in high school. Tell about what you're involved in. Be on time, because if you're on time, you're late. So be early, which is the most important thing.
know something about the company. That's really important. You need to know what you're getting into. Don't just go pick up an application and then go to the interview unprepared. You have to do, we're gonna look at you, at your application, and we're gonna do our background on you. So you need to do background on the company, and you need to be prepared with questions too about the company. You know, you don't want to just go in it blinded just because you need a job. You know, you really want to make sure that that's what job you want at that specific moment.
Actually, do not come with a friend. You know, come by yourself, because it's you that are applying for the job. Don't have your cell phone with you, you know, or you can have it in your pocket, but don't be distracted by it. Just, you know, have your mind set on being interviewed by the person, and that's all you need to worry about at the time. You don't want to